The next thing I'd like to work on is the tire tread, but I actually recorded this once and the recording got messed up, so I'm going to have to do it again, but now we can kind of get a look at what we're going to be making here. So I'm going to press Control 7, and I'll just go over this real quick because I actually, like I said, I already did this. So we're going to switch to face selection, and then we're going to select this face by right-clicking it. And I'll just quickly do this again from scratch to show you what I did. So I started out with a basic color, a base color, which would be this one. And we're going to switch the radius to 50 and switch your brush to the space brush. Yours may already be on the space brush, that's fine. And we're going to paint over this and get rid of all of it. I kind of like the result that I got on the last recording, so I'm going to leave it, but I'll show you the basics of this one. So we're going to switch to this color now, switch this to 8 pixels. Go down here, switch to the line brush. So what we want to make first is those dark lines. I have a reference, which is really just my my saved file, so this is our reference here. So we want to make these dark lines first. These bigger ones are 8 pixels, the center one is 6, and then this other one is 8. So we're going to do both of the 8 pixel ones first, and then we'll do the center 6 pixel. So click and drag and then hold Alt, and that will straighten the line. And like I said, in this one I'm not going to be as particular about how it looks because I already did this and I have a result that I like. On yours, of course, you want to take as much time as you need to make it look as nice as possible because you don't already have a finished result waiting for you like I do, which is totally fine. But this center one, like I said, make sure you change this to 6 pixels and then draw again a straight line by holding Alt straight down like this. And then next we have these lines, these little outlines that are next to those darker lines. The center ones again are smaller, these other ones are 4 pixels. So we want to change this to 4 pixels. I don't actually think I used that color. I'm not sure which color I used, to be honest. So I made a new color that was a little bit darker than this one right here. I actually have it saved still, but you won't. So you just want to make it a little bit darker. And it should be basically, see, that was actually perfect somehow. But you just want to make it a little darker. And then we're going to make another straight line here on both sides. And again, these outer ones, we're going to use 4 pixels for these outside lines. And then once you're done with the outside lines, you're going to switch it to 2 pixels, and you're going to do the same thing with the center line here. Make a straight line on both sides, and then we're done. The next thing I did was make these inner lines here with a lighter color than what we have already. And let's see if I can figure out which color I used. It may have just been this one, actually. Yeah, I think it was this one. Okay, that's convenient. So we're going to use this color now. Make sure you actually click on it so it changes it to that color. And we're going to set this back to 4 pixels, and we're going to make another straight line here. And again, trying to make it a mirror on the other side. Now what we want to do is we want to make these lines here in between the 2 spots. So what I did for this first is I took this darker color. I'll go back to my other one. So I took this darker color. It's the same color we used for these other ones. And I started making some lines from here to here. And I'll just do this real quick. I mean, you're going to want to take more time when you do this because like I said, like I already have one that looks good. You want to make yours look good. I'm just doing this to show you how to do it because I messed up my recording the other time. And then you want to do the same thing over here. You want to make diagonals. I did a diagonal where the outer is higher up, like this outer edge will be higher up, and then the inner one will be further down. So you want to just continue doing that all the way. The outside's higher up than the inside. And yes, mine looks sloppy. It's just because I'm trying to not make this take forever like it kind of did the first time. And it wasn't saved as a recording, which was nice. Okay, so if you ever have a problem, like if you're getting really close to the line, the bottom line, it won't let you draw over it because we only have this one selected. So if you want to, you can select the other one by holding shift and right clicking it. And then you can draw from one to the other if that's what you want to do. Maybe you don't want to, but if you do, that's an option. You can select this other one and deselect it by holding shift and right clicking. So now that we have that bottom darker color, we want another color to overlay this with. Which color I used, I'm not sure again. So we're gonna see, I made a new color that was darker than this, but lighter than that. That was what I did right here. So darker than this, but lighter than that. So you should have this new color right now because we just made it for those highlights, and we have this color, of course. So in between there, you want to try to make this color, which would be a little bit darker, but also lighter than this. So you should end up with this color if you actually want to look at the RGB value. Here you go. That's the one that I'm using. And if you just type these in, you'll get the same color as me. So now that you have that, you want to go through all of these, drawing over them, but you don't want to draw perfectly over them. If you do, it's fine, but you just want to get it close but not too close, because the idea is you want to have a little bit of black or the darker color showing beneath the gray, and it just gives it this little bit of a nicer look. At least that's what I think. So you want to just kind of draw over them, not perfectly but close, and you'll get these sort of highlights and lowlights that'll give it a little bit nicer detail. Oh, and I'm going too far here. Just try to stay between the lines. If you draw a little bit over the line, like these lighter lines, it's fine, but you don't want to draw in this area. Like if you draw on the line, it's fine, but you don't want to draw over the line. And I'll show you why drawing on the line is fine in a second. So the reason drawing on the line is fine is because we can just switch back to this color here, which was our highlights, and we can just draw another line right here where we had one before, and we just get rid of all those overlapping parts that we had that were making it look not so nice. And you can do the same with the center line, and voila, instantly we have things looking nice again. There's that. And you can add more or less spacing. Like I found I actually like these tire treads when there's a small space in between each one. I also tried it with more space, kind of like this, and I didn't like it as much with more space. It's going to be up to you what you use for your car. Now what we want is these, and basically it's a straight line and then it cuts down, and we'll add in these other detail lines later. So we want to switch back to this darker color, again keeping 4 pixels, and you want to draw across, hold Alt to make it a straight line, let go, and then make an angled line down like this. If these lines are not perfectly matching up, it's fine because we're going to hide them with that detail line like I showed you before down here. This detail line will hide those imperfections, so don't worry too much if the the point where these two lines meet up is not perfect because it will be hidden anyway. That's kind of part of the point of making that little detail line. It makes it look nicer, but it also hides the imperfections that you had from... I mean, if it's really bad like this, you want to undo it, but don't worry too much is basically what I'm saying. Like, minor imperfections are not going to make it look terrible because it's going to be hidden anyway. So basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to make as many of these lines as I have of these lines. So I'm trying to match them up, basically the start point, and then just continuing down. And again, if you want to, you can select this one, just in case you overlap a little bit, and then deselect it when you don't need it. So you're going to do the same over here. Hopefully this is recording, because I don't want to do this a third time. Actually, I've done this a few times already because I did a few practice runs this time. I haven't really been doing them as much, but I think the quality is a little better when I do practice runs, so at least it seems like it doesn't take me as long to get the result that I'm looking for because I've done it a few times. But live and learn, I suppose. So now we have that. That's basically that, and of course, like I said, take more time if you need it because you'll be thankful for it later if you take more time. So back to whichever one was our highlight, which I think was this one here. We're going to leave it on 4 pixels and we're just going to draw a straight line across. And then you're going to do the same thing on the very edge, draw a straight line, and then do the same thing on the other side. And that'll give you your tire tread. That actually didn't take too long, and it looks pretty much the same as this other one, so there you go, that's the tire tread part. And one thing I did in the other one, but it doesn't really seem like it's a problem now for whatever reason, but I had some little like white lines, like white pixelation here, whatever. And I just needed to go down here and, well, because it's because I already drew over it, because this is a save file. But yeah, what I had to do is I had to add some extra bleed over here. You can see it if I zoom in. So I had to select the base color, which was this one, and make my brush bigger and change this over here to paint mode. It was on view. You want to change it to paint. And you want to add some extra bleed down here. Probably before you did these lines. I mean, this is only one line that you're going to have to correct, because it's really just this corner for me that was wrong. It was like some white pixelation down here, kind of like if I did this. And it was not that bad, but it was kind of like that. So I just needed to add sort of like that. It was a bit more jagged, but anyway. I just needed to add in some more bleed down here, so you may have to do that as well. And one thing I mentioned in the other video was you may need to add it on the other corners potentially. Like mine was just this corner that I had a problem with. If you did your unwrap a little bit differently than me, then you may have problems elsewhere, so just take a look around. Make sure you don't have any problems at your seams. And you should be good to go. So this one versus my original one, I'll probably just save this just in case, because this isn't bad. I mean, this looks fine. It'll give me a different option. So I'm going to go down here and click on image, go to save as image. You can just save yours as details. I'm going to save mine as like, I don't know, details 2, I guess, because this is just a different one. Or maybe like details, redo, tire tread. And then you're going to want to save your Blender file as well. I don't know if I want to save over mine because I already have this, so I guess I will. So just go to File and Save, and then I'll figure out which texture I want to use later. So one little quick fix here, we're just going to press Ctrl 7 to go to bottom view, switch back to face select, zoom in a little, and one thing I forgot of course is these lines here we never fixed. At least on this one we didn't fix it. So I'm going to go back to whatever color we used, perhaps this one, change it to 4 pixels. And I should still be on the line brush. We're just going to hold Alt, make a straight line. Try to make a straight line. And do the same over here. And that should make it nice and straight on all these sides. Everything looks good. Just double checking to make sure that it does in fact look decent. Okay, so of course now you're going to want to save your Blender file as well as your image. So go to Image, Save as Image. I'm just going to keep my name as Details, Redo, Tire Tread, whatever. The name's not really important, just make sure you save your result. So if you have still Details, and that's the name of your texture, that's totally fine. It's not going to change anything. And then make sure you save your Blender file.